Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about how coronavirus is affecting YouTube advertising and our agency's response to it. So here's what we've seen up till this point. Some clients are doing better than ever, especially in work from home and make money online niches. E-commerce is a mixed bag. Some e-commerce clients are doing really good while others are struggling. This comes down to your particular type of e-commerce, whether it's something that is getting affected by people staying indoors. So for example, there are a lot of e-commerce companies like food companies, supplement companies that are doing really well, while perhaps there's a slowdown in some other e-commerce companies, such as anything for example, let's say outdoor stuff, right? Because people are staying inside. So travel has obviously been hit hard. If you have a travel offer, you need to pivot hard and find ways to bring in revenue so you can survive this. Now, CPM has trended lower from beginning of the month to now, generally 10 to 20%, although we've seen accounts where it hasn't gone down. So in the two accounts below, you can see there's been the blue line is the CPM, and you can see there's been a slow downward trend. It's not gone down a huge amount, but it's gone down by 10 to 20%. So that does mean that you're definitely getting slightly lower ad costs. However, CTRs have stayed the same, and in some accounts they've even gone up. Conversion rates have either gone up or down depending on the niche. Overall, CPMs are lower. Conversion rates vary wildly. If you're in a niche that's benefiting from the scenario, you'll likely see a bump in sales and conversion rates. The biggest takeaway is honestly, when you address coronavirus and the current situation properly, CTRs go up and cost per sale, cost per lead goes down. Especially if you're in the info product, make money online, work from home, anything that involves people having control of their financial future and being able to do it remotely usually does really well. Now, these are the niches we've seen doing super well. For example, information products are doing well, personal development is doing well, anything that's work at home, make money online is doing really great. Supplements, health, food, home workouts, all doing well. Survival is absolutely doing well right now. Anybody in the survival niche is probably scaling their ad accounts right now, just because it's a great niche to be in right now. E-commerce in general is very well positioned. I do think that right now you're seeing a big dip in a lot of e-commerce sales, but honestly, as people get used to the lockdown, people are going to get back to buying the things that they want to buy online and get it delivered home, just because they're not going to go out and buy it, right? Like, people will still spend money on non-essentials, but just because of the fact that it's going to be a boring lockdown, people will spend money to amuse themselves. Now, what is the action plan for us and the action plan for our clients? So the big thing is, in certain niches, you got to pivot, you got to test different offers. This is especially important in hard hit niches. And the other thing is to test messaging and angles. Messaging basically means the angle that you're using to talk to clients. So for example, an angle could be something that's like, you either address the coronavirus head on by saying something like, hey, during this crisis, it's made me realize it's more important than ever to help people achieve financial freedom. That's an angle. You're basically, going with a certain hook and addressing people with a certain message to get them interested in your product or offer. Pivoting and testing offers also pretty big right now, especially if you're in a hard hit niche. For example, if you are an e-commerce store, right, you probably have a few different audiences. For example, one of our clients, they sell work shoes and indestructible shoes. I'm guessing people who work in construction yards are not going to buy that. However, what we've been doing instead is pivoting towards basically going for people who are in the survival niche or do-it-yourself niche, because both of those things don't require you to be in a work environment, which obviously is not happening now. Now, if you're in a brick and mortar you want to figure out how to get online ASAP. For example, online fitness training. If you're a personal trainer, if you're a yoga teacher, start doing virtual classes. If you are a restaurant, start doing just delivery. If anything that's basically in person right now, you gotta find a way to go online. If you're a if you're a bookstore, then find a way to go online and start selling your books online. So create offers that can be purchased now and used after the crisis. So for example, especially if you're in the travel niche, what I'd be doing is selling open dated business class flights that can be used in the next 2 years to bring in revenue. Something like, hey, if you buy a business class flight anytime for the next few months, you can reschedule it without any change fees, without any additional fees, and people will go for it, just because right now business class flights are maybe like 4 to 5x lower than they used to be, just because of how hard travel's been hit by the coronavirus. Now, the various angles and messages you can test also make a huge impact. So you need to acknowledge the crisis in a way that does not come across as opportunistic or crass. You don't want to be the guy that's creating a course on how to hoard toilet paper right now. And you do not need to name the crisis, but you can enter the conversation going on in people's minds. So for example, I saw this ad from Billie Jean where he basically mentioned that, I used to struggle going to sleep because I used to be afraid about my family's future. And I'm sure a lot of you also feel that way. So that's something you want to kind of enter that conversation without necessarily naming the crisis. You can test a lot of different angles and marketing messages right now. The big thing is to just see what resonates with your target audience. And, basically this can result in significantly increased ROAS and decreased cost per acquisitions. Now, wherever you can, definitely focus on opportunity and upside, especially in the make money online niche and especially in anything to do with work at home, because this is the time when there's a lot of potential to actually, basically make your own income online, because the online world is less affected by this than the offline world. So people are going to make a shift to working online. So there are some niches that can do really well, and there is opportunity in this whole thing. Now, fear-mongering will likely result in backlash and attract low-quality clients. I would not go with the world is ending or any kind of doomsday angle. I would avoid saying coronavirus in your ads, because that can get you probably in trouble with ad networks. But hint at the times we're in, right? Like, you can do that without necessarily saying the word coronavirus. In business opportunity niches, really focus on the importance of having control of your income and working from home. That's just huge. Right now, you have the ability to, if you're working from home, you're just ahead of everybody else. You are making sure income is coming in, and basically the online economy is still happening, and that's actually really good for the country and the world as a whole, because if this was a completely offline world, everything would shut down, but you still have money being generated, money being paid to people, services being bought, work being done, just because of the fact that there is such a big online portion to our current economy. Now, the opportunity angle, right? We're all stuck at home with tons of free time, right? Like, I've seen multiple ads mention that, hey, we're all at home, but we have a lot of free time to do whatever we wanted to do. I've seen language teachers, use that as an angle to get new students for their language course. Now, because we have a limited amount of time, either we can use it or squander it. The ones who use it well will be the winners. Use this kind of message with your customers as well, especially in the work from home, health, or fitness niches. That's just going to be incredibly valuable in those niches, because any self-improvement kind of niche is just going to do really well right now. There are a lot of people selling workout from home. There are a lot of people selling kind of like nutrition stuff right now, just because of the fact that there is so much time and we're stuck at home. We have this opportunity to become better because we don't have all these distractions and all these things going on. This is our opportunity to level up in our life. And you can use this messaging to really get clients, and you're doing this in a positive way where clients are not going to be unhappy about you doing it. Now, some big pain points that are happening right now that you can touch upon is, number one, fear of job loss, not having control of their income and situation, and a general lack of security, and obviously the huge amount of free time they have, and then the feeling that they should do something with that time. A lot of people are feeling like, hey, how do I use this time? And also, another angle that I've seen is hard times are an opportunity to become better. The Great Depression created a hardy generation, right? Like basically there's this whole idea of like hard times make tough people, and that's also an angle where it's you can kind of use that as well. Now obviously you don't want to tackle these head on. You don't want to say something like, hey, you're going to lose your job next week, but these can be hinted at and thus help you basically help your prospects realize the value of what you're offering. Now, if you run a course, coaching, or e-commerce business, this is the time to be aggressive, acquire leads and customers for lower costs, and set up yourself for success for the next few years. Quite frankly, if you're not moving fast right now, you'll be in trouble in a few months, just because this is a very fast moving time. You want to make sure you have enough cash. If things do really get bad, you want to make sure that you're well set up for success. You want to make sure your marketing is set up for success. And quite honestly, this is one of the best times to get into YouTube ads. We actually have 2 clients right now that are scaling extremely aggressively. One of them actually just told us to scale to 10,000 a day. The other one just told us, hey, as long as we're hitting KPIs, just scale and spend as much as we want. I believe we're on track to get to $5,000 a day for them. So there is a lot of people opening up their wallets right now because, quite frankly, there's people at home. They want to learn. They want to improve themselves. So if you are in one of these niches, I will have a link below to book a call with Linx Digital. So that's my agency, so we can see if there's an opportunity to work together. Now, if you run an agency, freelance, or if you're an in-house media buyer, this is also a great time to upgrade your skills and start really learning YouTube ads and to start offering it as a service. Even if you're with an employer, adding an additional way that you can offer value to them, just make sure that you're even more indispensable. The more platform you handle for clients, the harder it is to fire you. I know that for example, if you're handling 2 platforms for a client, you're going to be the last guy to be on the cutting block because they realize that, hey, their marketing depends on you, which is why I always recommend, hey, learn YouTube ads. You might already be great at Facebook ads. This is the time to learn YouTube ads so you can start offering that as a service to clients. So you can get the first module of my course for free. We're actually doing that as a special promo for a limited time, and I'll have that as a second link below. So I really appreciate you watching this video, and yeah, I think we'll all ride this out, and hopefully this video has provided you with some insights on how to deal with this whole crisis we are living in right now. Cheers.
Walk with our feet on the ground, and we will talk with our head in the clouds, and we will walk with our feet on the ground.